What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever, period. I'm your host, Pharaoh, and as you see by the title, today we are going to be giving you our first occasionally recap of the season. If you're new here, subscribe, because I will be going live periodically throughout the season, discussing the live feeds when something big goes down or when something important happens. And this was important because this was night one of the motherfucking live feeds of Big Brother 27, and I stayed up all night watching the feed so that I can come up here and explain to you guys and kind of coincide all of the mess that was going on, because baby, was it mess? Yes. Like I said, subscribe, like, put your notifications on, because baby, I gotta explain it and you need it to be explained. So we're here, okay? Now first, before we get into all of the updates of last night, let me put y'all on. This season of Big Brother, we will be introducing the TRK Big Brother After Show. Every single Wednesday, I will have a new guest on the podcast to discuss this week of Big Brother. So on Wednesday, me and my co-host Lee will be discussing this week of Big Brother. And I just want to let you guys know, if you guys want to ask us any questions about the show, about the second episode that we didn't get to recap, if you have any questions about specific players, anything about Rachel, literally any question about the show, about the week, or about Lee himself, because Lee will be my guest, you can hashtag on any platform, social media wise, Kingdom Speaks. I'm going to pin it in the chat right now. And also at us, just to be more efficient. If you really want us to see it, make sure you add us, make sure you hash at me, all of that. So there you go. Get into the tea. Now I'm finna get into the motherfucking tea. Let me pull up this cast. Boom. Listen, the screen. If you're listening on the podcast, I would heavily recommend going to the YouTube channel, subscribing, and then getting into this image, because I have a loose image of what's going on in the house, and I'll explain it to everybody right now. Now, disclaimer. Let me turn this off. Hold on. Disclaimer. If you don't know, this is spoiler content, live feed updates. I know some people might have accidentally clicked on this and might not. I am spoiling everything, honey. Okay? I'm telling you the noms. I'm telling you the veto. I'm telling you everything. Okay? Boom. Just letting you know. Now, boom. This image here will show you the HOH, the nominations, the veto, all of that. As you see, Vince is the head of household. We already knew that. He nominated Zay, Amy, and Ashley. We already knew that. Ashley is confirmed the veto winner of the week. Ashley has won the power of veto. She ate that up. She is very, very likely using it on herself, which is what caused a lot of the conversation last night, which was who is going to be the renominee. The renomination options that were discussed last night were Kelley, Keanu, and Adrian. I will get into essentially what's going on with all of that in a minute. But first, let me break down the structure of this house a little bit. Of course, well, not of course, because y'all don't know this. The main alliance of the season so far, and this is loose, and I say main with a hesitancy, because this is a very, very loose group. This group is not solid at all. It is just what we have now. It is the heavy hitters. Vince the HOH, Jimmy, Morgan, Rachel, Zach, and Riley are in an alliance called the Heavy Hitters. It is a 6-person alliance. 4 of them met last night to talk about it. They all discussed it all last night. And the concept of this alliance is we're not the floaters. So keep in mind, now that Rachel is here, the anti-floater sentiment is up and live, baby. So the heavy hitters are very much so, we're not the floaters. So they're the big group right now, or they're the group right now. There is already mistrust in this group. Jimmy and Morgan are both very heavy-handed with their opinions. Jimmy is going to tell his opinion. He's going to push his agenda. Morgan is going to tell her opinion and push her agenda. Zach has already mentioned he's annoyed by Jimmy and Morgan pushing their agendas, bickering within each other, etc., just to give you a vibe. Rachel does not feel comfortable in this alliance much at all, which is why she missed the alliance meeting last night. And Riley does not want to be seen with this alliance. He's playing a different type of game, a low-key game, which is why he missed the alliance meeting last night. So the alliance meeting last night only consisted of Jimmy, Vince, Morgan, and Zach. Those four met and they were discussing the renom options. So let's get into that, T. Apparently, yesterday, which is now the day before yesterday, so not Sunday, but Saturday. Apparently Saturday, when the veto was won, Keanu was one of the main renomination options. This is because Jimmy found out that Keanu has been throwing his name out. Keanu has been throwing Jimmy's name out. Jimmy has been throwing Keanu's name out. We don't necessarily know who started it first, but they have been throwing each other's name out. So Jimmy has made it a very big point to push that Keanu should be the renom. He was pushing that extremely heavily last night. And no one in the alliance necessarily fully 100% agrees with Jimmy. Jimmy is the only person in this group who is heavy-handedly pushing Keanu. So Keanu was one of the main options yesterday. As of today, or as of last night, it seems like Kelley has become the main option because we saw in the episode, Kelley volunteered her ass on the block to Vince before the veto was even won. Apparently, after veto was won, Vince is now taking her up on this option, and Kelley is trying to be okay with that while also trying to push her own narrative. So we're going to have to get into the Kelley of it all. Kelley has been damn near terrorizing the house, girl. Very much so. Very, very much so. She literally has walked up to people and told them, Jimmy, for example, Kelley thinks Jimmy is a liar. She does not like Jimmy. So Jimmy, at one point in the day, said, oh my God, I forgot what I was going to tell you. And Kelley looked at him and said, it was probably a lie anyways, and walked away. People are confused at these random moments of Kelley doing this because she did it with Ava too. She said, Ava, I see you're trying to play the long game. So Ava don't fuck with her. Jimmy don't fuck with. So many people in the house do not like Kelley because of this. She's walking around saying weird things and they don't understand. Are you joking, girl? Are you coming for me, girl? Very much so that. So Kelley is now this weird kind of target. So with that in mind, plus the fact that she's volunteering to Vince kind of that it's okay to put her up, she is a big renom option for him. The only issue is Vince knows that Kelley is actually working with him. So he's like, I don't know if I should put her up or not. And this is when Kelley and Keanu are in cahoots. They are pretty close in terms of wanting to work with each other. And they're the only two I've seen push to Vince anything but each other. And they are both pushing Jimmy as the renom. Vince is not renomming Jimmy. Vince is in multiple alliances with Jimmy. He is in the heavy hitters, but there is also an alliance called the Triplets with Vince, Jimmy, and I believe Rachel Riley. So there's an alliance within the alliance that Vince is in with Jimmy as well. So Vince is not nomming Jimmy, but Kelley and Keanu keep trying to push this narrative because they're anti-Jimmy, and it didn't really work. So Vince's final thoughts when he went to the heavy hitters meeting with him, Morgan, Jimmy, and Zach was, I'm either putting up Keanu or Kelley, and the other option is Adrian. Honestly, Adrian is barely an option, but he's the other option. Like, he's another potential way in the back of Vince's mind. Right now, it's really Kelley or Keanu. So last night, there was a conversation with Jimmy, Morgan, and Zach. Jimmy is pushing for Keanu to be renommed and backdoored. Zach and Morgan are more so like, girl, Kelley volunteered. Let's just put her on the block because why should it matter? So there's this debacle. So far, Vince has landed on just putting up Kelley. But this whole situation has caused a lot of tension with Jimmy and Morgan within this alliance. There's a lot of bickering going back and forth between the two of them, for sure. Now, quick pause before we segue. If you guys have any questions or clarifying this, go ahead and put it in the chat now. So that way I can pull up your comments and answer your questions if you want some clarity on anyone's position in the game. Since this is night one, I'm going to kind of quickly go through everyone's kind of position. I'm kind of just going to say one or few words about kind of everyone. So that way we can kind of lock it in. Oh, they asking, where's Lisa? Lee, my co-host, is at work, baby. I would be at work as well. but I took off for the motherfucking views. I know that's right. So I'm gonna kind of quickly go through a lot of people's positions. Floppy Disk Channel. Shout out to Floppy Disk Channel. Thank you. When one Supreme fades, another rises. Kelley is BB26. Angela Chosen. That is my mother. Please. Oh my God. Okay, I'll pin some of y'all comments while I go through the people. I'll go through the heavy hitters first because they're in the middle. Jimmy knows he's being targeted by Keanu, and he is threatened by Keanu and the boys. So Jimmy's main target is Keanu. He's pushing that within the Heavy Hitters Alliance. He is also in a group with Morgan and Mickey. We saw that on the episode, and it seems like Jimmy is mostly prioritizing the Morgan and Mickey situation, but he also wants to keep his options open. Jimmy is also pretty close with Zay. So Zay is semi-protected by this Heavy Hitters Alliance because Jimmy doesn't want Zay to go. Put a pin in that. Vince is the HOH. He's confused. He don't know who he want to nominate. His allies are not his allies. Girl, Vince is in the clouds, baby. He's very confused on who to nominate. And honestly, of the options, it should be Adrian, and Adrian's the one he's not considering. So there's that. He's very focused on that, not much else. Morgan is in the alliance. She's in the group. She wants Zay to go home. Morgan prefers Amy to stay, and she prefers Kelley to stay because Morgan has a relationship with Amy and Kelley. Morgan has a lot of relationships. The only issue Morgan has so far is that Ashley does not like Morgan. Ashley feels like Morgan is Jimmy, but undercover. I think for now, it's going to be fine because Ashley isn't respected. Jimmy is the more vocal one, and he's out there. And honestly, Ashley is right about this, but Morgan genuinely has deep connections with people. She has a very good connection with Rachel. They're very close. She does have a good connection with Kelley, which is why she's cool with that, with her staying. She has very close connections with Mickey and Jimmy. She has a lot of connections. So Morgan is pretty good, but she wants Zay gone because she doesn't have a connection with Zay, but Zay is liked by a lot of other people. So that's where her perspective is, and that's why her and Jimmy were bickering in the HOH room because she wants Zay to go, but Jimmy wants Keanu to go, and they're both trying to push their agendas, right? Rachel is really in a trio with Amy and Ashley. Amy, Ashley, and Rachel are in this trio group. They've talked multiple times about game. And of course, Rachel's also in the Heavy Hitters, but she doesn't really trust that. That's just her protection. Her true trust is with Amy and Ashley. They consistently talk to each other. They consistently whisper about each other. And a lot of people do know that Rachel is close with Amy, and they know Ashley is close with Amy. They haven't connected the three, but they know that the two are close to Amy. So keep that in mind. That's mostly where she's at. She's working on personal relationships as well. Keanu is not Keanu. Zach, I'm sorry. Zach is in this alliance. He's very chill. He's very much so like, Vince, do what you need to do. I'm just here to play the game. Zach is close with Zay, and this scares Morgan. Zach is also close with Lauren, and this scares Morgan. Because Zach is close with Lauren and Zay, that's why Rachel and Morgan don't feel super comfortable in the Heavy Hitters, because Zach has allegiances and closeness outside of everybody else. Zach is very focused on showmancing Lauren. He has had multiple conversations on the live feeds about, I want to get in showmance with Lauren. I want to get in showmance with Lauren. Rachel is trying to hook this up and make this happen, push them together. You know, Zach really is looking for a wife. Dead ass. So yes. Riley, he's chilling. Riley is the person that everyone in the house is comfortable with. No one is targeting Riley. No one dislikes Riley. Riley is Gucci. Riley is good. So keep that in mind as well. Riley is one of those neutral. Everyone kind of loves him. Everyone wants to work with him. People have mentioned this, so they know they're like scared of this, but we've seen time and time again, Big Brother, players who everyone kind of likes. It gets mentioned, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? I'm going to go through the nominees next. Zay is very likable as well. A lot of people like Zay. He has a good relationship with Zach. He has a great relationship with Jimmy. Jimmy called Zay his number one at one of his number ones at one point. He has a good relationship with Riley, a good relationship with Keanu. He is in good with these boys, including Jimmy. He's really good with Will as well. Zay is very close to a lot of the boys, not a lot of the girls, except kind of Catherine, kind of Lauren from what we heard. Catherine and Lauren and Zay are kind of cool. Other than that, not really. Also, Riley is kind of cool with Lauren as well. So Riley, Zay, Catherine, Lauren, Zach, they're all cool in different like methods. We don't know how close that group is, but they're all cool with each other in different corners. So that could be something to look out for. But the reason Morgan wants Zay out is because of this. So many people like him. It is a good chance that Zay can stay against Amy, and he can stay against Kelley as well. I think with Zay versus Amy, it'll be close, but he does have a lot of allies, or a lot of people who like him. Amy, I already said, is close to Rachel and Ashley, and a lot of the girls really like Amy and want her to stay. Ashley is close to Rachel and Amy. She doesn't necessarily seem that close to many other people except Mickey. Mickey and Ashley had a one-on-one conversation. They seem like they're trying to form a group together. So I think it's giving very much so she has her girls, right? Let's get to the renom options. Kelley, I already talked about her. Girl, she's trying to form a group though. Kelley wants to form a group with, let me read it. She wants the group to be Zach, who doesn't like her, Riley, Adrian, Lauren, Keanu, and Vinny. Now, I will say Keanu and Adrian, I think, do like Kelley. Lauren and Riley, when they were pitched this group by Kelley, they talked about it and they were kind of like, we don't know. Because Kelley is trying really hard to form it, but it doesn't seem like anyone is really grasping onto it. She's trying that, and she's also nominating herself for eviction. She's offering to be a pawn. So there's that. It looks like if Kelley is renommed, which she probably will be, she is going home against Amy or Zay. She would probably have to win the blockbuster, but the boys, Vince and Zach, they do prefer, and Keanu, they do prefer Kelley to stay. So she might have a chance to stay because Vince does not want Kelley to go home. He just wants to put her up because she's the safest option, but he does not want her to go home. So keep that in mind. She could stay, but right now it's looking like a lot of people don't like her. Keanu, we kind of already talked about. He's also trying to form a group very similar to Kelley's group, honestly. And he's trying to gather that together, except he wants Rachel in it. The reason Kelley doesn't want Rachel in the group is because Rachel doesn't like Kelley and Kelley doesn't like Rachel. Keanu wants Rachel in it because he's close to Rachel and he's a super fan. So they're trying to make the same group with or without Rachel. I don't think the group's going to be made at all because we already have the heavy hitters. Adrian, we don't know what he's doing, honestly. We've heard him be floated as a renom. We've heard people mention him about bringing him in, but he went to sleep super early. He was the first one to sleep, first one to wake. So we have to see on him. Going to the people I haven't really talked about, Ava is very much on the background, not really doing much. Didn't see her on the feeds at all. Mickey, we did see her on the feeds. Mickey, Jimmy, and Morgan are in a trio. Mickey and Ashley are very close. Jimmy and Mickey had a conversation about how there is a group, and Mickey says, I hate that I wasn't included in that group. Jimmy says, I know, we're going to try to bring you in. I'm assuming they're talking about the heavy hitters because that's the only group that it seems like has been formed. It seems like Jimmy and Morgan prioritize Mickey even kind of over the heavy hitters a little bit in the sense that they're going to tell Mickey about it. So Mickey knows about the group, and this is what Mickey did last night. Mickey went to Will and went to Ashley separately. She talked to Ashley a little bit about it, and then she went to Will, and she got really in-depth with it. She said, Will, I think the misfit kind of people need to form a group. She mentions everybody on this right side of the board. She says, me, you, Catherine, Lauren, Ava, and Adrian, and probably Ashley should form a group. I think she knows exactly who's in the heavy hitters. Don't hold me to it, but she literally listed everyone outside of the heavy hitters, damn near, and said, we should form a group because we need to get the ball rolling. So Mickey very much so seems aware that there's a group that she's not in. But she did tell Will, I want to wait before we start it because I want to kind of vet where we might be able to fit in to a potential group. So put a pin in that. Catherine, we only saw her really talk to Rachel. She kind of talked to the other people. We don't know where she stands in the middle of the game. We've heard people say Catherine and Lauren are tied at the hip. I've heard that be said between Ashley and Amy, and Zay said it to Ashley, and then they talked about it later. So it seems like Catherine and Lauren are really close. Lauren, of course, seems close to Catherine. She spent all night painting Riley's nails. They seem close. I already mentioned this group of Lauren, Riley, Zach, Zay. It seems like they're really close. Everyone is pressing Lauren about showmancing up Zach. Lauren is trying to be coy and cute. She's like, well, I don't know if I want to. Don't. But it's very much so giving they're trying to do a showmance. And Will, we did not really see. So that is where everyone kind of stands in the game as of night one. Period. I feel like I ate that up. Let me answer some of y'all questions. Oscar says, do you think Keanu is overplaying? Yes, a little bit. I think other people feel this way as well. There was a conversation between Morgan, Jimmy, and Zach where they talked about how Keanu has been throwing Jimmy's name under that bus. They were like, I don't know why he's throwing their name under the bus. And Morgan is very upset with Keanu because he keeps saying he doesn't want to talk game. So he has not talked game with Morgan, and we're on day 6. So she is very annoyed with him. She doesn't really like him. Jimmy is extremely annoyed with him. He's pushing to put him on the block. It seems like a lot of people don't necessarily love Keanu in the way that he I don't know. I think he thinks he's doing good socially, but it doesn't seem like other people feel that way, because even Vince and Keanu talked a lot last night, but when Vince talked to the heavy hitters, he was like, girl, Keanu coming up to me with stupid stuff because he's walking up to me and Rachel and he's asking Rachel to evict Amy when everyone knows Rachel and Amy are close. And Rachel told Keanu multiple times, I'm not evicting Amy, and Keanu keeps telling her he is. The issue with Keanu is, according to the conversations I saw, Keanu is cocky. I don't know if cocky is the right word. He's very confident in what he perceives. So Zay talked to some of the girls. The girl said, by the way, Zay, Amy is likely going to stay, right? So this is what happened. Keanu talked to Zay after this, and Zay said, Keanu, I think Amy will stay if she's a final nominee, because people have told me that. This is what Keanu said. He said, you're wrong. I don't think that's true at all. Amy's gonna go. I just know she's. Who's gonna be the votes? Who's gonna be votes? Put a pause on that. He went to talk to Rachel about it. Rachel said she listed out the votes of the people that would save Amy because Rachel wants Amy to stay. After that, Keanu was like, I don't know if she has all that votes. I don't know. Keanu is very much so. He thinks he has his pulse on the game. So whenever someone else comes to him with information, he's very much so, girl, I don't think it's giving that girl. It's not giving that girl. It's giving what I said. Very much so that. So that's what it's giving with Keanu so far. He really needs to kind of get that chip off his back, and we'll see how that goes. Carl says, has Vince been the first HOH in the new era so far? Unfortunately, probably, and he's not doing a great job. Putting up Kelley is stupid for him because Kelley will go home, and his allies have told him. Jimmy, Morgan, and Zach, all three said, if you put up Kelley, she will probably go home. And Vince is like, well, I don't want her to go home. And they were like, well, and he's like, yeah, but I still got to put her up. I have to. I have no choice. Mind you, Adrian is right there. He should put up Adrian. I see why he wouldn't want to put up Keanu, because Keanu could win and come and target him. Keanu seems very much so like the person who will be upset about it. But he could just put up Adrian. No one necessarily is cool with him. Adrian is another option he mentioned. I don't know. It just, Kelley doesn't make sense because Kelley is very cool with him. But like someone in chat said, she can go. I don't care. Do you think Amy is an actual danger, or is Zach delusional? Is Zay delusional thinking he has the votes? Zay could have the votes, because hypothetically, let's say Zay and Amy are the final nominees, right? Votes, we need 7 votes for it to tie. People who would evict Amy over Zay: Jimmy would evict Amy, Zach would evict Amy, Riley would evict Amy, Keanu and Kelley would evict Amy. That's 5. Will would evict Amy. That's 6. Potentially Lauren and Catherine. It's possible Zay could get 8 votes. I think that is the closest eviction vote we have, is if it's Zay versus Amy. So there's that. I do think it could be 7-7, 8-6. It could be very close if it's Zay versus Amy. Zay does have friends. Is Ashley mad at Catherine or Vince? Ashley is mad at everybody. She does not seem mad at Catherine on the feeds at all. She hasn't mentioned her. The main person Ashley is bothered by is Jimmy. Ashley hates Jimmy so much to the point where there was a conversation with Ashley, Amy, and Rachel, and they were talking about how they love Mickey and they should work with Mickey. And Ashley was like, I don't know, because she likes Jimmy, and anybody who likes Jimmy is clearly stupid. Ashley is very opinionated. She walked up to them. She was like, Zay is stupid. She had one conversation where she was like, Zay is so stupid. Girl, if you trust Jimmy, you're stupid. She's very opinionated. So she's going to probably fluctuate with how she feels. But right now, Ashley does not like Mickey. And she hasn't said anything. And not Mickey. Ashley does not like Jimmy. And Ashley does not like Morgan. Ashley feels like Morgan is the smarter version of Jimmy, and that people are going to be mistaken for overlooking Morgan. And I agree with her. I do think Morgan is the smarter version of Jimmy, and Morgan could do better than him. Are people on the outside able to see into the lounge room or not? I don't know. I think they can. And people kept walking past that lounge in the bathroom area, y'all. It's like a clear door to the lounge. People kept walking past while people were talking. I think people can see in that. I just don't think people care. Yeah, the glass room by the gym. I don't think people care. How's the draft looking? Who has the people in power? Child, I'll quickly show y'all our draft, girl. This is the draft we have. Of course, the kingdom has Rachel. Rachel is doing okay. The people in power are technically the people in the 6-person alliance. And I have Morgan, Vince, and Jimmy, who are all in that alliance. And then Lee has Zach and Riley, who are in that alliance. I will say people in power influencing things are Jimmy and Morgan, for sure. Jimmy and Morgan have the most influence in this house. So I would say it's looking like Lee kind of struggling because they nominated girl. He could go home. Keanu was a target. He could go home. But honestly, I have Kelley. Kelly's probably going home first. Truly. So it just depends. It just depends. But it seems like the main people in power right now are Jimmy and Morgan. So there is that. But yes, y'all, that is mostly what's going on in the house right now. Hopefully that was a good layout of how you guys can perceive everyone and where they are at. Those were most of the conversations. I'm trying to think if there was any other like tidbit or anything like that, but honestly, I think I discussed everything that I said. So just another reminder. Please use hashtag Kingdom Speaks and ask us anything, babe. Please go ask us a question right now. Go to Twitter or the Blue Sky or the Instagram or anywhere and go ask a question. Put hashtag Kingdom Speaks, KINGDOM SPEAKS for our Wednesday after show. Because this week, of course, on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we will be doing our live feed recap and give you a full recap of everything that has gone on the live feeds from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then we will also be rating all the players. And we do have a special guest joining us on Tuesday. So make sure you are there because the Big Brother players are going to be there with us. Okay. On Wednesday, of course, the after show, do hashtag Kingdom Speaks right when y'all are done with this. On Thursday, right after the episode. And the Wednesday podcast is right after the episode. The Thursday podcast is right after the episode. We were doing our eviction breakdown, discussing why whoever goes home. And then, of course, on Friday, we're doing our Love Island Beyond the Villa recaps. And on Saturday is the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race. Throughout the entire season of Big Brother, I will be doing occasionally recaps. So make sure you do put your post notifications on. Coming very soon is Survivor Australia versus the World and the challenge, which we will be covering, unfortunately, for the challenge. So get into that. If you don't know, we do have a segment called Reality Rewind where we go back and rewatch old reality shows. And you guys can vote for which old reality show we are going to talk about next. It's going to be in December. So there's a link in the description called Reality Rewind. If you would like to vote for one of these 10 shows, go ahead and do that. Period. And like I said, hashtag Kingdom Speaks, hashtag Kingdom Speaks, hashtag Kingdom Speaks. Damn, that was a tongue twister. Tongue twister. Damn. Girl, add us and hashtag us on Twitter, on YouTube. Follow, subscribe. Thank you. And I'll be back for more. Thanks for keeping it real with the kingdom. I'm out. Bye.